Trump digs coal. Read the signs during the campaign, and Donald Trump promised he would be an unbelievable positive for the miners. Now HES trying to deliver by repealing the Obama-era Clean Power Plan and proposing to subsidize coal-fired power plants. These moves are, in fact, unbelievable. Not only are they a setback in the fight against climate change, but they also make no economic sense, since the cost of renewable energy is falling sharply. 1. Trump can't save coal. He only claims he can. On Tuesday, the Environmental Protection Agency published its proposal to undo the Clean Power Plan without putting anything in its place. The plan was one of the most important parts of former President Barack Obama's commitment under the Paris Climate Agreement to cut United States greenhouse gas emissions by 26% to 28% below 2005 levels by 2025. The plan was meant to accelerate emission reductions in the power sector. Power sector carbon dioxide emission projections EPA target 32% below 2005 levels. Note 2014 projections based on annual energy outlook. Sources: Energy Information Administration. Historical 2014 projection. Rhodium Group. Current projection without CPP. Power sector carbon dioxide emission projections EPA target 32% below 2005 levels. Note 2014 projections based on annual energy outlook. Sources: Energy Information Administration. Historical 2014 projection. Rhodium Group. Current projection without CPP. Earlier, Mr. Trump's Energy Secretary, Rick Perry, asked the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to come up with rules that would require businesses, consumers and anybody else who uses the electricity grid to pay coal-fired plants to be ready to supply power whether that energy was needed or not. He claims such payments will make the grid more resilient. Many experts doubt that. Taken together, these proposals are a brazen attempt to promote one source of energy over others, a criticism that conservatives often lobbed at Mr. Obama for his attempts to do something about climate change. In fact, tied up in court, the Clean Power Plan has not even gone into effect. 2. Coal use is declining. Meanwhile, use of other energy sources has risen sharply. Coal has been falling out of favor because utilities are switching to natural gas, which has become much cheaper in recent years thanks to a boom in shale production. Megawatt-hours of electricity production by energy source. U.S. Energy Information Administration. Megawatt-hours of electricity production by energy source. U.S. Energy Information Administration. 3. Renewable energy is coming on strong, mostly because producing it is getting cheaper. The worldwide average cost of wind and solar power has fallen sharply over the last 3 years, according to a recent report by the International Energy Agency. While these sources of energy make up a small portion of the overall system, for example, about 15% of electricity generated in the United States last year and 24% generated worldwide, they are growing fast. 2/3 of generation capacity added globally last year came from renewable sources. Range of typical module prices. Notes: A module is made up of the solar cells that convert light into electricity. Includes photovoltaic modules. In 2016 dollars. Source: International Energy Association. Range of typical module prices. Notes: A module is made up of the solar cells that convert light into electricity. Includes photovoltaic modules. In 2016 dollars. Source: International Energy Association. 4. Wind and solar are becoming cheaper. It's expected to be cheaper than other sources for years to come. In some countries like India, the United Arab Emirates, Mexico and Chile, auction prices for renewable energy have fallen so much that they are comparable or lower than generation cost of newly built gas and coal power plants, according to the agency, which researches the energy sector for 29 member countries, including the United States. Based on current trends, the agency forecasts that the cost of land-based wind turbines and utility-size solar projects will fall an additional 15% and 25%, respectively, in the next 5 years. Average solar system prices. Notes: A module is made up of the solar cells that convert light into electricity. Includes photovoltaic modules. In 2016 dollars. Source: analysis based on IRENA, International Energy Association. Average solar system prices. Notes: A module is made up of the solar cells that convert light into electricity. Includes photovoltaic modules. In 2016 dollars. Source analysis based on IRENA International Energy Association. In the United States, developers of new wind farms signed contracts to sell power at around $20 per megawatt-hour last year, down from about $61 per megawatt-hour in 2010, according to a recent report by the Energy Department. Wind contract price, national average. Note: contract price is the power purchase agreement generation weighted average. Source: U.S. Department of Energy. Wind contract price, national average. Note: contract price is the power purchase agreement generation weighted average. Source: U.S. Department of Energy. That report also points out that these prices are lower than those for electricity from natural gas plants and are expected to stay that way for years to come. That's because wind power contracts lock in low prices for 20 years or longer, whereas the cost of natural gas fluctuates from day to day. Developers of wind farms and solar projects receive federal tax credits, but those subsidies are being phased out and will be eliminated in 2020. 5. Technology is helping renewables. It's getting easier to produce renewable energy. Wind turbines and solar panels cannot produce electricity at all times in all weather conditions. But there have been great technical strides that have improved the performance. For example, modern wind turbines are much more productive than the turbines installed just 1 decade ago. What's more, batteries have become much cheaper, making it less expensive to store electricity when it's windy or sunny for times when it is not. The average cost of lithium-ion batteries fell 73% to $273 per kilowatt-hour between 2010 and 2016, according to Bloomberg New Energy Finance. Lithium-ion battery price note includes cells plus pack prices. Source: Bloomberg New Energy Finance. Lithium-ion battery price note includes cells plus pack prices. Source: Bloomberg New Energy Finance. The world needs to shift to